Hello! Today we're going to build a Prusa i3 MK3S kit. I've been wanting a 3D printer for a long time, and since it finally arrived, I'm going to put it together. Let's get started. Okay, so now I got everything unboxed. Let's look at our first step. So the first step is to look for all the tools that we need for the Y-axis assembly. I think they're in here. Found them. So we have needle nose pliers. We have a screwdriver. And we have 6 Allen key wrenches. So we also need some other stuff for the Y-axis assembly for the second step. Second step, we need aluminum extrusion, 1 aluminum extrusion. We also need 1 aluminum frame and 16 M5X16R screws. Okay, now let's see what the next step is. It says to take the longer aluminum extrusions, these two things, and attach them to the frame, the base of the frame, and also I need to attach them to the base of the frame with the side with the Prusa logo engraved on here. And I'm going to attach it using these M3X16R screws. Okay, so now we're done attaching the longer extrusions to the frame. Now let's see what the next step is. The next step says to take the shorter aluminum extrusions and attach them to the frame on the side that does not have the Prusa engraved logo. So this side. So the next step is to take the front plate, which is a shorter plate, and attach it to the longer extrusions. So, next step is to clarify that there are 2 PSUs. There's either the new one, the black one, which is the one I have, or there's an old one, which is a silver one. So, and the mounting is different. So if you have the black one, the newer version, you need to attach it to the sides. But if you have the older version, the silver one, you need to attach it to the top. You need to put the holders, PSU holders on the top. So I'm going to put my PSU holders on the side because I have the newer version. So now I slid the PSU holders into the side of the short aluminum extrusion here. Now let's see what the next step is. It says to assemble the rear plate. So this is the rear plate. I'm going to attach it to the two shorter aluminum extrusions on this side. The next step says to attach the anti-vibration feet. Those are the feet that also protect your table from scratching and also stops when you're printing, doesn't make that much vibration on your table. Okay, so now that I finally finished attaching the anti-vibration feet, let's see what the next step is. The next step is to make the smooth rod holders. So I need the 4 Y rod holders, 8 M3X10 screws, and 8 M3NS nuts. So I think the screws and nuts are in here. So first I need to put 2 of these square brackets into these 2 small holes in the printed bracket here. Okay, so now that I've completed all of the Y rod holders, let's see what the next step is. It says to take the Y rod holders and on the front plate, take this and put it on here with the Y rod the hole for the Y rod facing towards the frame, and then move it over until it's touching the front plate, and then turn it 90 degrees this way. And then I can screw it in using these screws. So I'm going to make a Wipeout Idler, which is the pulley or like the chain for the build plate, so the blue plate can move on the y-axis. So I'm going to get this pulley. I'm going to put this Wipeout Idler part, and first I'm going to take these nuts here and attach them to the bottom here, these 2 bottom holes on here. Okay, so now I completed the Wipeout Idler. Now let's attach it to the y-axis. It says that I need a 1 y-axis motor, the y-axis motor holder, which is the plastic printed part, the 3D printed part, 4 M3X10 screws, and 2 M3N nuts. So I'm going to take the Y-axis motor holder. I'm going to take the motors. Okay, so now let's begin attaching the Y-axis motor holder to the Y-axis motor. First, I need to insert 2 of the M3N nuts to the bottom of the Y-axis motor holder. So I am going to take the Y-axis motor, and I'm going to take the Y-axis motor holder and attach it to the short extrusions on here in the middle of the front frame. So let's begin the Y carriage. So we need the Y carriage itself. That's the first thing we need. So we need to take this piece and we need to attach the U bearings onto these 3 the I-shaped holes. So now that I've completed the Y carriage, let's attach the rods to it now. I think the rods are in here. So I'm going to take off the cover. Yep, the rods are in here. And I'm going to take these 2 rods and attach them through the bearings. So now that I've inserted the rods through the bearings, let's see what the next step is. Next step is to attach the rods into the Y rod holders. Now I've attached the rods to the Y rod holders. Let's see what the next step is. It says to find the package with the zip ties and secure the rod to the Y rod holder using the zip ties. And then you need to cut off the end of the zip tie, the extra piece of plastic that's on the zip tie. The next step is we're going to assemble the Y motor pulley, which is the cable or the wire that goes across from here to here and back to here to control the Y platform. So I need to rotate the flat part on this motor shaft slightly to the right for me, or left for your view. And I'm going to place this piece onto here and tighten the two black screws on there. The next step is to attach this printed part underneath the Y carriage here. So I'm going to turn this over. Next step is to attach the belt through the motor and to the other side through the pulley and back again. Now we're going to tension the Y belt to a little bit to test it out to make sure everything's working. So I'm going to take this shit under here. So lightly press a finger on the Y belt to tension it and feel the tension on there. If it's not that, you can change the tension on the belt by adjusting the M3X30 screw below the Y carriage if it is too loose. Okay, so if when you tighten that screw, will increase the tension. If you loosen the screw, it decreases the tension. Now let's test the Y belt. So we're going to use the pliers to hold together the Y-axis motor shaft. Use pliers to hold together the Y-axis motor shaft. And then move the Y carriage with my hand towards the Y-axis motor. The belt is stretched properly. You should feel the resistance and the Y carriage won't move at all. If the belt is too loose, it will deform, create a wave, and jump over the teeth on the pulley. After the proper tension is set, tighten the M3X10 screw. So now everything is good. Everything's looking good. So now we're going to eat a Haribo, which is the gummies. Actually, I don't really remember where I put them now. Oh, here they are. So I'm supposed to eat 15%, or 6 gummies. 3 red, 1 white, 1 yellow, and 1 green. Now that I've completed the Y-axis assembly, I'm going to work on X-axis assembly in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!